Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Thursday, April 18th, 2024, pre-market report. I have a lot to talk to you about. Let's start off with this. It seems to me that there are quite a few of you who are asking the same question. I covered this recently, but let's just go over this real quick. What am I talking about? Is now the time to get out of this stock market? Now, as I said, recently I went over all the dynamics that are going on. I cover it every day, but let's look at risk real quick. You and we're not fixated on what the Dow Jones Industrial Average is doing, or the S&P 500, or the NASDAQ, or the Russell 2000 for that matter. What we're looking at is risk. Risk in this market is at an extreme level. No doubt about it. Look at the MMRI, Mannarino Market Risk Indicator. Right now, as I am doing this, we still are in a red zone. It's sitting at about 301. You want to look at this yourself in real time? There is a link in the description of this video. There's a lot of calls from the mainstream media about an imminent drop in the market. Okay, let's put that into perspective a little bit more. We have seen this market so far this year hit about 25 new record highs. No surprise. Anyone that follows this blog, we said this would happen at the end of last year, along with mass layoffs, along with war, or the expansion of war in 24. Keep those things in the back of your mind for just a moment, because I want to talk about that too. So, does it mean, and this is the big question that I've been getting, because risk is at an extreme level, that we should be getting out of this market? In my view, no. I'm going to take it straight out. Why? Okay, let's set the stage here for what we are hearing. What I believe is going to happen, whether it's in June, July, I still say the double talk that we're getting from the Fed, we have to read between the lines a little bit. What do we know? What do we know that central banks want to do? They want to inflate. Why do they want to inflate? Because that's their sole power. It's also their Achilles heel, as we are well aware of. But a central bank's power resides in just one freaking thing, and you all know what I'm going to say if you've been with me for any length of time. Their ability to inflate. They have one product, central banks, that is debt. The more debt that they issue to the world, the stronger they become. Okay? Are we clear on that? That's a fact. It's indisputable. That's why we've seen what we have witnessed over the decades and decades and decades with global debt surging at its fastest pace we've ever seen. Nation slaves, individual slaves to their system. They got us all by the throat. You know that. Okay, so why am I saying that now is not the time? Okay, first of all, I could be wrong on this, all right? But I'm just telling you what I think. Even if, let's throw this out here, even if the Federal Reserve decides to push this off, because that's what we're hearing. If you're watching Bloomberg, Fox Business, CNBC, if you're paying attention to any of the mainstream channels, they're floating out Fed president after Fed freak after this freak, talking about, oh, rates are going to be higher for longer. Oh, we're not cutting rates. What that tells me is the polar opposite is probably true. Not only that, what else is going on here? Even if the Fed doesn't cut rates sooner than later, and that's the storyline that we're hearing, I believe we're going to see other central banks do it first. And that's going to send a message to the market. Okay, hold on a minute. This central bank did it. This central bank, they all have to do the same things at the same time. You understand? That's what they're doing now. This is why the world economy is in the situation that it's in right now. These institutions working together to destroy us all. You know, the narrative, again, is from the mainstream media. Hold on a minute. Sorry about that. The narrative, again, from the mainstream media is our economy is booming. Our economy could not be stronger. President Bidenstein, creature thing, vomitous mass puke that he is, came out during the State of the Union saying that our economy is the envy of the world. We're the laughing stock of the world, but he can't tell you that. It doesn't even know it. You know, it's an it too. Doesn't know what's going on. The man cannot put together a cohesive sentence that's the truth. There's a reason why he's, you know, the commander-in-chief, you know, why it's there. Anyway, so not only have we seen waves of layoffs, this is how strong our economy is. You know, the beginning of the year, we're starting to see it pick up again. And we knew this. You and I called this out again. In fact, look at my videos from not too long ago. In one of the titles, we're about to see another wave of layoffs here. And it's starting. Now, there's another reason behind that. Let's talk about what's going on here. Why is it? Not only is our economy in free fall and debt is continuing to skyrocket, people can't make ends meet. You know the situation here. Even the well-off are feeling the pinch, okay? Now, what Wall Street has been doing as these corporations, these corporate mega companies are laying people off, what is Wall Street doing? They're bidding their stock higher. So there's another reason why I don't believe now is the time to get out of this market here. Does it make sense to you what I'm saying? Let's put that together. Let's just recapitulate some of this stuff. I believe that, again, the double talk from the Fed, how they're not going to be cutting rates anytime soon, tells me they are. Okay, the polar opposite is generally true. Now, again, as I said, I expect even if the Fed doesn't do it, other central banks are going to do it, and that's going to send a message to the market that okay, don't worry, the Fed is going to do it. Now, we've seen an interesting phenomenon here. We watched the 10-year yield drop 10 basis points over the past couple of days. It's coming up now. It's coming up now. Many of you believe, and I took a little poll on this yesterday, that the Fed is going to intervene. And they're going to do this probably by expanding war. Most of you believe that. I believe that's true too. And something big must occur to create enough fear to push cash into the perceived safety of debt. Bond yields will come down. This will be a boost for the stock market as well, because that's what they want to do here. They want the market to do it itself, so the Fed doesn't have to do it. But they're more than willing to get in here again and buy it all, because that's their end game goal, to be the lenders and buyers of last resort, period, the freaking end. I mean, you know, you and I have been so ahead of the curve on this, it's frankly just ridiculous. But anyway, it's not going to stop. There's no way central banks are going to stop inflating here. And our loving, caring representatives, no one running for president, is going to tell you the truth here. They're going to tell you to look here, look over there, be deceived, be distracted, focus on Trump's trial, focus on what's going on. You know, forget about it. They can't allow you to focus on what's actually going on. They must keep you in a state of confusion. This is, again, a mechanism that has been used throughout the ages, so the few can control and manipulate the minds of men and women, going back again to time immemorial. It's not going to stop. We just have what they have today is they've weaponized the media. They have people focusing on all this kind of stuff, creating anger, creating strife, creating hatred between the people. Again, they will not allow us to come together, because if we were to come together, we could take this whole thing over. We could take the system down, but they won't allow it. And there are so many people who are so deeply indoctrinated into the propaganda, and unfortunately, that's the way it's going here. So, no doubt in my mind, and I'm sure yours, we are going to see war expand at a very fast pace. The big show did not work. It did not work. It did not have its intended effect. Fear enough to push cash into the debt market. That means something else is coming here. Something much bigger, much more devastating, a lot more death, unfortunately, and more than likely on, it could be right here in the United States. And of course, they're going to tell you who's to blame for this and give us a reason why we have to kill these people. It's always the same story. So what can you expect? As I said, more layoffs being announced, and that's because our economy is so strong. Don't ask me. Listen to our illustrious president, because he would never lie to you. Neither would any of our so-called loving, caring representatives. We got the Dixie here this morning remaining below 106. Okay, if the trend continues, if we see the dollar weaken on a relative strength basis, even if we see the 10-year yield stabilize here, the market's going to be okay. You have to understand, the market, it's a twisted freak show. It really is. And it may get used to extreme risk, especially if we see the dollar weaken. You got to pay attention to these things, people, and that's what I'm here for. So you don't have to focus on it around the clock. I will help all of you along here. So to summarize here, no, I do not feel it's the time to sell our positions here. As a matter of fact, it may be time to add to our positions here. Gauging from what I believe is going to happen, the double talk from the Fed, saying they're not going to, which means they probably are. The fact that I anticipated that even if the Fed doesn't do it, we got other central banks that are going to cut rates here, and that's going to send a message directly to the markets. Hey, you know what? Fed's going to follow suit. We got more layoffs here. And these companies are going to be rewarded by Wall Street. Okay, you're laying X amount of people off. These people are in the streets. Their depression has just begun. But we're going to bid their stock higher. I also expect the Fed to jump in here. The plunge protection team, they're not going to allow this to drop. Again, this is a selection year, a presidential selection year. There will be no election. Okay, so just get used to that. That's the new norm. Okay, we have no voice. We have no representation anymore. There's Congress is again jumping on the bandwagon, selling us. Would you see what just happened? The big show there. Well, they're not calling it a big show, but we need to send this weapons package, billions, tens of billions, to Israel, to Ukraine, to Taiwan. Okay, foreign aid package. We're aiding our friends so they can kill each other. Anyway, look, people, you got the story, right? You know what's going on. All of you do. You're way ahead of the curve, and we're going to keep ourselves there, honestly. All right, look, this guy here loves you from the heart. I mean that with all I got. I will see you for the live stream, 4:05 p.m. Eastern. And until that time, what am I going to say? Take care of yourselves and take care of each other, all right? See you later.